Hi, this is Russell Darrington, owner of Phoenix Osteopathic Physical Therapy and the host of Professional Spotlight Series. Today, I'm excited to welcome a person whom I deeply respect and admire. Sarah Naylor is a dedicated real estate professional right here in the Rockwall community. She's passionate about helping people find more than just a house. She helps them find a home as well as their place in the community. Sarah is known for her heart for service and authentic relationships. She's deeply committed to the people, families, and communities that she proudly serves. Sarah, I'd like to ask a little bit about you as to what made you start or choose to go into real estate.
I get asked that question, and I just think it's funny every time. I did not have a passion for it. It wasn't something that I thought I was going to be all my life. I didn't start until I was about 40, and just my kids were getting older. I had been teaching tennis on the side, kind of, and I'd been a personal trainer for decades, actually. And I thought, I think I could do something else a little bit more. And I actually thought I could teach more tennis or we were in the process of buying a house and I saw how hard my agent was working. And I thought, well, maybe I want to do real estate. So I put out two feelers, put one out to the tennis pro in the community, and their response was, we'll see. And I put one out to my real estate agent that I was working with, and she's like, join my team. And she didn't even have a team. So she started a team. So I decided that was my answer. And so I got into real estate, and it's been the most rewarding, difficult, stressful, therapy filled career that I never imagined that I could enjoy and love as much as I do.
That's fantastic. And I know how hard you work. We've known each other for a little while now. And one of the things that, again, you shared just a little bit a moment ago that you're also passionate about is health and fitness. I came to know you through your personal training experience as a Camp Gladiator personal trainer. And when we came to know each other, you said, well, that's kind of my side gig. I'm really a real estate agent. And that kind of was almost a little bit of both. But so tell me a little bit more about how your passion for health and well-being dovetails in with your passion for being a real estate agent and building community.
Again, fell into it. So I played sports all my life growing up. And then when I got older and thought I could either be a frumpy, out of shape housewife if I wanted to be, or I could decide to continue being active. I taught some aerobics classes, and then I got my personal training certification and kept that for 20 years. And I loved it. And what I loved about personal training was that you are in with these families for years, a couple times a week, and you know everything about them, just because you build such a camaraderie with them, and you know about their life and things. So doing personal training was a blast, loved it. And then when I got into real estate, I thought, ooh, real estate, if you're not in it full time, people can't trust you. So I decided to give up personal training and teaching tennis, to just really dive into real estate and give it my all. And so I did that for a couple of years, and I did great and was successful with real estate, but I missed being the trainer. And because real estate is more of you're with the family for maybe 6 weeks, I mean, hot and hard and doing everything with them, and then you're done. So you don't have that same relationship that just goes long term. And I wanted to go back to doing training. And I was on a team at the time with real estate. And I remember going to one of the mentors in the team and I said, I think I want to do personal training again. Is that a problem? And they said, no, I think it's fine. I think it could help to build your database and your community and everything. But I kind of felt like it was an awkward tie-in. And so I found the boot camp that I started teaching, and I did it solely not talking about real estate at all for probably a year or so. But I found the excitement of doing personal training again and getting involved in people's lives day in, day out. Every morning if they're coming at 6 in the morning, you know all of their good, bad, and ugly. And but I didn't talk about real estate at all. And real estate was also going well, but I was exhausted. I'm going to be honest. I was getting up at the crack of dawn for my boot camps and then having to go and look professional for real estate. And sometimes I'd be tired. And so in an early morning boot camp, sometimes I'd say something about being up late, and people are like, "How are you up late? I mean, you're just doing boot camps early in the morning." And I'd have to explain about deadlines and contracts. And they're like, well, what else do you do? And so I thought, I almost was embarrassed to admit that I did real estate. And sure enough, as soon as I did, my boot camp clients gave me referrals for people that were buying and selling houses. And I was like, what? So because they could trust me to get up so early in the morning and never miss and never be late and always have things set out for them and be organized, they thought, well, I guess I could trust her with real estate. But the funny thing was, it was never for them in the beginning. It was always for their child that's buying their first house or whatever. It was kind of a handoff just in case she's not any good, but I turned out it to be pretty darn good at it. And that became by far my biggest referral source was my boot camp customers. And I didn't even know it, but when I got into real estate, I had come up with a motto, which was home and heart, where home and heart meets. And I often thought, well, I just like the alliteration of the H's, home and heart. And then I was thinking about it one time and I realized, no, God was actually putting heart cardio in with the home part. And it was truly what God had already organized for my life from way back, and I didn't even see it. So I have to say God has been in the entire journey that I have been on from the real estate side, definitely, and for the cardio side.
Absolutely. Thank you. So Sarah, you can speak to either side of your passion. You're doing really primarily real estate, of course, now, but so is there a certain kind of customer or person that you serve, that you find that you serve best or that you reach out to? Who would that be?
I really try not to limit myself. I do love working with first-time buyers. The reason is I don't think I understood what a real estate agent did until I became one. And even getting that ask to the agent that was helping me, I really fell in love with, wow, she's doing a lot more than just opening up doors for me. And seeing how the burden of buying a house is severe, and to be able to take some of that burden away from anybody, be it a first time buyer or a 10th time buyer. I like to do that for people. I like to take away whatever stress I can and put on my own shoulders and try to help them. But what I love about first time buyers is it's scary. It's very, very overwhelming to think, oh, I want to buy a house. Yay, this is a great milestone. But it's the questions the lender is going to ask you over and over again, and to prove your income and everything, and then to be strapped with this mortgage now for 30 years. There's a lot to have to think through. And I do believe there are dumb questions. So when people say there's no such thing as dumb questions, I laugh and snicker because people ask dumb questions all the time. But when it comes to real estate, I don't think there are dumb questions, because especially a first time buyer is going to have so many thoughts, questions, concerns, and think they're dumb, and they're not. I don't think they're dumb in this role, because it's about to be a major life change, and I want to make sure you understand what you're signing. The contract is overwhelming to you. That's where I come in professionally, and I want to hold your hand and be able to answer all the questions, but then also set you up with the vendors that I trust that are going to help us to get through the process as quickly and easily as possible. So I love first time buyers. That is truly not my niche. I almost get a little scared of high end, because I'm so real and so uh, vulnerable and open and honest with people that I feel like I come across a little too down to earth. And so if I have a wealthy client that is down to earth, oh my goodness, we're going to do great. If I have one that likes to put on airs and keep up with the Joneses, I'm probably not your girl, and I'm going to be honest with you. But I do sell a lot of acreage, estates that have land and shops, and I'm out kind of in more of a rural area, and so I do a lot of acreage properties that it's your forever home until it's time to downsize. So I do it all. But anyway, I have my favorites and I have my non-favorites.
Sounds great. So let me ask you this question. What about you and how you approach your profession as a real estate agent, what makes the experience different with you from others in your industry? What would you say sets you apart?
The main difference about me is I am as black and white as they come. I will always give you the truth, the facts, whether you want to hear the numbers the way that they really are. I am not about extending my own career to reach further elements. I don't necessarily need the money, only because my husband does have a fabulous job. So I am doing this for the client and the client only. And that comes across really, really well to my clients. They get it. They know that I'm there for them. I'm going to negotiate absolutely the best for them. And I'm not worried about my mortgage. I'm not worried about making my own monthly payments. It's for them. And so that is generally people like me. I'm also exposure to your house for just do um, the usual. I will seek out what others are doing right now at this season. I will find out what's going on right now, and I will pursue and buy and be involved in whatever it takes to get your house the exposure that it takes.
Thank you. I've watched you for a few years now, and I know from personal experience just watching how hard you work for your clients. Again, you go out of your way, sometimes driving, sometimes an hour or hours and miles to serve your clients, and I'm sure that comes across, and they appreciate that. Um, what are some common mistakes that people make in when looking to buy a home, and how do you help them overcome those or prevent those?
Well, the first thing is yes, you want to call me, but then I'm going to tell you to call a lender. You've got to call a lender because you don't really know what your budget is. You may think you do, but there's just insurance and taxes that you just don't know about. And those kind of things help you to set your budget. And it's very, very frustrating for you to think you know, fall in love with houses, and then realize that really isn't what works best for your budget. So I hate for somebody to feel like they're ready to go and then get their dreams shattered when they find out what their real budget is. So the first thing is truly to talk to a lender and find out what makes the most sense for your budget.
So would that be what we call getting pre-qualified? Yeah.
Right. Yes.
Okay.
Yeah. And
Fantastic.
you're gonna ask me all these questions at the beginning as a first time buyer. That's not my lane. I send that straight to the lender, and they really are going to be able to give you specific answers for your circumstance.
Gotcha. Let me ask you this question. How has your business evolved over the years?
Um, How has my business changed over the years? Much of what's changed is honestly my confidence. The market has changed tremendously. It was a seller's market, heavy, heavy when I started, and now it's become a buyer's market the last few years. And I'm sure it's going to switch back into the seller's market. But learning the ebbs and flows of the market has been great. But honestly, now when I go into an appointment, I'm not nervous. I'm not worried. I know that I either have the question or the answers to the questions they're going to ask, or if it's something that I've never heard of, it's not going to derail me. I'm going to be like, you know what? We're going to figure that one out. So just having done this as many times as I have and being as vulnerable and open with my clients and letting them ask all the questions has allowed me to feel really, really confident that we're going to be able to handle absolutely anything. So my confidence has been what's changed the most, I think.
I'm sure that shows through to your customers again, that they recognize your experience, that you know what you're doing, and that gives them great confidence in you as well. So, um, Sarah, how can people learn more about your business or reach out to you?
Well, I do have a website at sarahnaylor.com, and I'm proud of my website, but I'm also really proud of my Google reviews. So if somebody wants to Google me, I do have over 100, which is huge for a real estate agent to have 100 5-star reviews. So that makes me pretty pleased as well. So honestly, if people want to do some research on me, first thing is to go check out my reviews because I haven't paid for any of them. And then once you've read those and you feel like that makes sense, then go look at my website because it shows how professional that I do conduct my business. So those are the best things. And of course, you can always reach me on my phone. And that number is 469-442-7402.
Fantastic. Any final words that you have for someone that might need any kind of advice, or what's the best recommendation you'd have for a brand new home buyer?
For a brand new home buyer is use me. Get all the vendors that you need lined up. Don't be afraid to ask questions and don't be afraid to adjust as you're learning a little bit more about what your needs probably really are.
And if they don't know certain people, you have contacts with pretty much anyone and everyone in the industry that they might
Yes,
need to know. Is that true?
absolutely. Anybody that you need, I promise is in my back pocket. I know them.
Fantastic. Sarah, thank you again. You are one of my favorite people on the planet, for lots of reasons, not just for what you do as a real estate agent, but and again, you might want to speak to a little bit of that. In fact, I'd like you to speak a little bit more about what you do. And I know you don't like to toot your own horn, but you like to build community and you love to serve people. What are some of the things that you're proud of that you've done? that are maybe do those in those two areas, serving people and building community?
The two things that I can come up with is that I do host events, and I don't do events just for the event's sake. I really want people to feel like they have a community, and I don't want anyone to feel like they are alone. And living out in the more rural area that I do, I realize that the lots are bigger and that you may not have a next door neighbor that you can run to. And so that's what helped me to start my events in the first place, is because I wanted people to know that your neighbors are there for you and you can enjoy each other, have a good time, and celebrate life together. So I do events, and they are usually well attended, and I'm grateful that people know that if they come, they're going to have a good time. So that's one thing that I absolutely love. And then I also like there is a group that I again fell into my lap that was started called Rockwall Area Small Business Alliance. I'm really, really proud of that. I invited about 20 people to join a Facebook group, and now it's over 4,000, maybe 5,000 people, and on that Facebook group, and we meet once a month. Now, not that many people show up by any means to our monthly meetings, but it's open to every single small business in this area. And it doesn't matter about overlapping industries. We truly want people to come and build relationships, build their Rolodex like I have, be able to put those vendors in their back pocket, but also to be able to share and brainstorm about what's working in their business, what's not working in their business, what's going on in the current economy, and things like that. So I'm really, really pleased and proud of that, because I want, again, small business owners to feel like they have a community, people that they can talk to and trust, and know again that they're not alone. So those are probably what drives me and what I do.
And I know a little bit of the reason, but would you share a little bit more about what was the impetus for you starting the Rockwall Small Business Alliance? What brought you to, because it was a pretty big endeavor. You put a lot of time and effort into it and hosting it. And what led you to do that in the first place?
Well, I'm sure you're talking about Heroes Day, and Heroes Day was a collaboration that you helped me with. We, as a trainer, I thought let's do a 5K, and then we got bigger and got all kinds of just different circumstances that we were able to just throw together and make this amazing event. And the heroes that we wanted to honor were our first responders. And so we raise funds, and all the proceeds go to first responders. And it was getting bigger and more exciting in our own heads, you and me. And we thought, well, we might need a little help to actually promote this. And so I went to our area chamber of commerce and asked if they would like to be a part of it with us. And of course, they were like gung ho and thought it was a great idea. But I was literally told that they really should just take it from me. It's too much more than I could possibly handle, and let them have it and just rest and relax. I don't do that very well. So I said, no, thank you. I kept it, and the event went off amazingly well. We had a flyover with airplanes. We had vendors, we had food trucks, we had so many participants. It went incredibly well, and I cried the night that it was over, because I was pleased that I had done it without their help. And that's what kind of made me think, you know what, the Chamber of Commerce is really just there to serve themselves and to get promotion to themselves. And I thought, I'm a small business owner. I want other small business owners to have the same opportunity that I just did. And let's band together and make our voices as big as an area chamber of commerce. And we honestly have done that.
Yes, it was. You saw the need it really wasn't being served well by the other organization. They seem to be serving the interests of larger companies, larger, and it's great. They're building the community through these large companies, but the small business owner, the little guys like myself that are maybe solopreneurs or just starting out or just getting going, really didn't have a voice and maybe didn't have the honestly, perhaps the wherewithal to join and be a part of the Chamber of Commerce on an ongoing basis. And you set up this organization. It's very nominal cost to be a part of it. You put on an event every month, and for networking, to provide lunch. And that's just one of the things that I love about you, Sarah, is just how much you serve and give, and always without really expectation of anything in return. Of course, I do believe, as you, that what you put out almost always comes back, and even in greater quantity. So, thank you for who you are. Thank you for what you do. Again, I respect and admire you, and appreciate and love you. And thank you for sharing your time with us today. And look forward to your future success. Thanks a lot.
Thank you very much.